Hey guys, we've got news for Global on July 14th, and this week joining me to discuss the extremely exciting news is Livedili.
Hey everyone, super exciting.
Welcome, welcome. And again, apologies for my voice. Sounds a little bit weird. I am coming off of being sick for quite a few days. I feel totally fine at this point. This is just like a lingering sore throat, but I'm totally fine. But my voice, will probably sound different, so apologies for that. But this week, we've got three new units. We've got Leftia. Well, I call them new units. They're really not new units. It's just lazy reskins of existing units. So it's Lefty, Papia, or Poppy, and Lasswell, Final Fantasy IV form. How amazing and meta tier are these units, Liv Dilly?
Not at all. They're so bad, I'm probably gonna skip all three of them.
There's no way they'd give us this kind of a banner for our anniversary celebration.
Well, it's still celebratory, or whatever it's pronounced, because it's. What I would really find funny is we're getting that whole Ashura story, but without the story event. That's what I feel like is kind of missing because what is going on with the story, right?
Oh, geez.
Why is it happening?
I don't. Was there actually a story in JP? I don't know. There may have been. I really don't know.
I think so.
This.
I don't remember where it was. Was it on last week's banner or on this week's banner? I don't know, but I vaguely remember there being a story.
Oh, there could have been. I definitely don't remember, but yeah. If so, we're not getting it. So the units. So Leftia Warrior's Prayer is basically just like a bad Earth Mage, and then Papia's Prayer is a bad Wind Mage. Did I leave
Yep.
anything out?
Nope. They're not really doing anything. You just pull for them for the sprite, A or B for the TMR, both of which are actually not that bad.
Pretty much, yeah. So if you're familiar with like Sniper Physalis or Beach Shinju, etc., like elemental locked super limit burst units, that's these guys. They have a 300x modifier LB. Now, they do have a racial mod bonus against certain races. I think Poppy is versus Plant and Leftia is versus Stone. I don't remember. Do you?
Neither do I.
Yeah, it doesn't matter though, because even versus like those races, you're still not going to bring these guys. You're going to bring like a real unit. But yeah, so here's their step up. I briefly looked at it. It's like was it 13 and a half or something per lap. The usual stuff. Yeah, you'll get one of each. Like this week is a pretty safe skip week for most people. As Liv pointed out, their STMRs are okay. Still not great though. Let's talk about the things that matter. Is the STMRs. So this one is for Leftia. It's a throwing weapon. It's a two-handed mage throwing weapon. And as I've mentioned in the past, we're going through this cycle of JP units that are being pumped out. The units are worthless, but they're basically selling you the STMR. Same thing as Rain last week. He was a great STMR and a garbage unit. Here's the same concept. So this is a throwing weapon for mages. It gives them, double hand, some killers, decent magic stat. So is there anyone that would really care about this for the most part, Liv Dilly?
Tiana and maybe Renoa, both of which are throwing weapon users, I guess.
Yeah.
But neither one is actually relevant to the game. So, I don't know.
Yeah, before Kaito, I would have actually said this would be really good for like Tiana after the variant change when she can do something in Clash of Wills. I do feel like now
Oh,
that
one more. One more unit. Ibarra, right? Ibarra can use throwing weapons, can she?
oh, she can absolutely yes, yes, and this actually helps Ibarra a decent amount because it gives double hand. Now, if Ibarra, you would definitely rather premium Dark Thena's whip, but that is a harder to
Right.
pull unit. But this one would work as well. Yeah, and it's good for those. Now with Kaito, you kind of want to use just any your best two-hander period, regardless of the type. But for like Tiana especially, if you're not using Kaito, she does bring her own throwing in peril. So like you mentioned, this would be great on Tiana. That being said, Tiana isn't exactly top tier these days. Certainly a lot better than she was after the variance changes. But, we've got the upgraded Esther, the new Wilk, etc. So some stiff competition.
Indeed.
And then Poppy is basically the same story. But she's got a two-handed flail. Who is going to use this? Or mace, I guess, depending on the way you call it. I call them flails. But who
Same.
can even use this? Like, what?
That's what happens when you skip Legend of Mana. Nobody can use this.
I mean, I guess it's cool that they're adding representation because, there were no flail weapons in the game that mattered. But the reason there were no flail weapons that mattered is because flails don't matter. Like, their only purpose is, like, for Lilith's TMR for a tank because it's got a good item rolled rare. That's it.
Yep. I mean, it's kind of funny. Axes were in the same space, so to say, where they just weren't relevant, and it actually took a premium global unit to make Axes somewhat relevant again, even though it's just on that one unit. But I feel like it takes the same for flails or maces to be relevant too. Just there has to be some super meta unit that actually uses these things. Potentially, in this case, it has to be a mage unit for this to become ever relevant. So I don't know. I feel like you will never end up using this weapon.
Yeah, this is so hyper specialized, and there's just no one to use it at this point. Maybe in the future, who knows?
The TMR, on the other hand, is actually not that bad. It's 75% stone killer, which, I mean, it's mages only, granted, but it's still physical magical types. So units such as Angela versus the Dark Visions in 2 or 3 months, depending on whether they interrupt Dark Visions with Vision Vault. That one has Machina Stone as the final boss. So, I mean, that's cool. It's a head slot, which head slots don't usually have that much killers, especially for mages.
That's a very good point. Also, it does have the 100% HP and 3,000 flat, so it's very, very bulky for your mages.
Yep.
Yeah, and it could be really good just for the bulk, even if the killers didn't apply. Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I didn't even look at it, to be completely honest. So, yeah, I would say her TMR is way better than the STMR on this unit.
Yeah, I've said this for Rain on, I believe, Sunday on my review. I feel like the STMRs on these prayer units, the TMRs, sorry, the TMRs on these prayer units, they are actually STMR level, and it kind of shows again with these two units.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Because Leftia has that accessory, which is also in a similar vein with 75% stone killer.
Yeah, I'm
even though
going
it's
back.
mage locked.
Going back up to look at it, and you're right. Yeah, this one has a bunch of bulk on it too, and an accessory slot. So, yeah, pretty good actually. And then their vision card, like the vision card, it isn't terrible. It's fine. It's kind of like, actually, no, I was gonna say it's like Kaito's, but Kaito has 500 flat stats, doesn't it? So yeah,
That's right. It's more like the numbered series types cards like Final Fantasy VIII, with just a bunch of that magic or attack percent, 25% LB, and whatever they have you static attack / magic / SPR / defense.
Yeah, it's like this card. It's not terrible, but hopefully at this point you've been pulling some of the better versions of Magic cards recently, like the Dazzling card.
Yep.
And then the other unit, I wasn't expecting him. This guy, and then like the Rain version. I guess we're probably going to get later at this point. I thought we were skipping these, and I was so happy we were going to be skipping these, but I guess we're not skipping these. This is the Final Fantasy IV version of Lasswell, and this basically has no redeeming features on global. On the JP server, the only real purpose of him was his STMR, which is a 100% LB damage, which was pretty unique on the JP server, but it's only locked to mage units only. So on the JP server, this was really good. On the global server, this is hot garbage because we've got the Chow STMR, significantly better than this. It's unlocked, can be used on anyone, and we just got the banner thing, all your Leave It to Me power. I forget what it's called. It's another 100% LB damage materia. Again, completely unlocked. Now that one does have like physical stats on it, but the LB damage is universal. You can put that on the mage if you want to. Yeah. So we have this one now, 100% LB damage only for mages. Pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Yep.
And then the unit itself. So do you want to talk about the unit itself, Livedili? Do you even know about the unit?
Do you want me to be honest? I glanced over it 2 weeks ago, and all I remember is hot garbage, and I moved on.
So, are you guys familiar with the Neovision's version of Lasswell, the first one, where he was like a mage wannabe in his shift form? This is the identical kit. I mean, it is just copy-pasted from start to finish. It is just copy-pasted. You know what else they copy-pasted? The modifiers. This guy has a 150x modifier for his LB. I am not kidding you. He's got the same modifier as the first. The first
I'm looking at
ever
it right now.
Neovision unit. Cloud, year and a half ago. Same modifier. So this guy doesn't even deal damage. Like the biggest troll on the planet, and they're sticking him into the global pool. I'm so irritated because like I know I'm going to off-banner this dummy at some point in the future, and like it's going to be so depressing. Oh my god.
Holy smokes. I mean, I thought they were trolling with Rain's Beastbreaker Plus last week when it was it was even the same spell ID as Neovision Rain that released 2 years ago. I was like, no way they can elaborate on this or justify this, but here we are, an exact copy paste of his LB.
It's such.
Alum never ceases to amaze.
It is so lazy. I hate it. Oh my god! And Global is almost as guilty for just bringing it and copy and pasting it. Oh my god. So here's the step up. So for 20k, you get a guaranteed troll and 150 shards to guaranteed EX to him, and then you get 2 guaranteed Neos along the way, so he can have, a partner, Saul and Axstar, along with him. So enjoy this step up if you go for it.
Just a quick question on Lasswell, because he has 2 cooldown abilities, one which imbues him with fire, one with ice. Funnily enough, either one dispels the previous element, and both of them actually increase modifier by 85x each. Does that stack actually, or is it just a single one of those applies?
Oh, now that you mention it, I think I remember from the JP stuff, like when this came out like 6 months ago, I think they do actually stack if you use both of them. So yes. So okay, correction. He does have a higher LB mod if you use his Magnus. So once per fight, he can be a higher LB mod. My bad, but he's still trash.
He's still trash, yeah.
But that is a correction. Yes. Oh, and the cherry on top. You ready for this? The vision card is the freebie vision card you've been pulling 47 copies of because it's in the free pool for a year and a half. So you've probably been fusing these as Cactuar cards. You've got so many of them. But here's another Heir to the Purple Lightning. Your 65 attack power vision card. Enjoy.
Amazing.
So bad. And then the event for the week is just a Chronicle battle. To go off topic briefly, though, I will say, how have you been feeling about the handling of events this anniversary, Livedili? I've seen a bunch of comments, people saying this anniversary feels like a little dead. And I kind of agree because, like, the Clash of Wills, amazing, A+. but like the events, like it's almost like 2 or 3 weeks of dead week as far as events goes.
Yep.
Have you felt that way as well?
Yeah, I feel like they did super well on the first week where we got Wilk and Sylvie,
Mm-hmm.
and then they kind of dropped the ball, as if half the team went on vacation, deservedly so, so to say. But it still feels like here's all the cool stuff. Bye bye. We're done.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah, go for it.
I was looking up, by the way, the Warriors Prayer story event, and there was actually a special event for this, or special story. So I don't know what happened to this, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's skipped or it's coming later, but that would have helped because it's still a celebrate, like it's still celebrating something, Ashura technically, but it would have fit the theme of overall celebration. So I don't know why they skipped this. Would have been a cool little thing. I mean, wouldn't have mattered in the grand scheme of things because it would still be a dead week, but it's something
But
rather than nothing.
that would have helped though. Yeah. Like I said, it's been feeling kind of like just empty weeks. And yeah, a missing story event will completely explain it. Like maybe we were supposed to have, an ongoing story, kind of like the Dark Rain Returns storyline event, where you
Exactly.
you had something to look forward to week. These just feel super dead. Like the only actual event this week is a Chronicle battle, which is like the one of the least interesting things you could have. Uh, so it's like an accessory with some killers. That's fine. It's decent. It's high magic. It's nice gear. Don't get me wrong. A double-handed magic clothing, which is
Mm.
actually this is a little bit worse than Aerith's STMR, but maybe not everyone has Aerith's STMR, so that's fine. It's okay. This one is just experience and whatever. It's I guess for flavor. And then this one is what is this? Didn't we get this last week? It looks familiar, or is it different?
It does look familiar, right?
I swear we
I'm
got this
sure I've
last
seen
week.
this.
I think we got this last week. I don't. Maybe I'm going crazy. I don't know. Maybe we did. Maybe we didn't. But in any case, it's not that great. So, but there it is. But yeah, that's the event for the week. Is we do have more. So there's more coming. We're gonna talk about that in a second. But as far as like the actual event of the week, that's kind of it.
You know what I've been wondering just now?
What's that?
What is going to be the adventure pass thingy now? Is it going to be login days again, or how are we gonna get our
Oh,
two chests?
um, I guess they'll add new tiers to Item World. No, I'm kidding.
Oh no.
Good question. I guess they're gonna have to clear. They're probably gonna add like these Chronicle battles are usually 10 stages. So if I had to guess, clear stage 3, 7, and 10, just as a guess. But I don't
Hmm.
know.
Yeah.
But that would be a super easy way for them to do it, though. I guess. Yeah. But then we do have some actual interesting content. These are permanent contents. Well, that's why I don't really loop them in as like the weekly event. This is permanent content. But this is where the news video is going to go into a more positive note because this is good content. Well,
Mhm.
air quotes,
It
good
could be.
content. It's a 12 race takedown trial. Gloomwing the insect. Now this one, to be fair, is dramatically better design than the Death Machine. So much better. Still not great in comparison to like some of the global Clash of Wills bosses, but like compare the Death Machine, it's night and day. Way better. So this is the insect, like I mentioned. It's weak to only wind and ice from memory. It's very
Yes, that's correct.
okay, excellent. Um, it's very bulky. It does single target berserk, some AOE magic, some other minor stuff, some like small mana drains. Overall, it's on the easier side of the like final 8 bosses on the 12 race stuff. Compared to the Death Machine, I'd say it's a whole lot easier. So, are you looking forward to this one, Livedili?
Absolutely. I already have two teams planned out for this. One is super whaley with triple Esther, Wilk, and Freyavia to one-shot this on turn three, and another one that is more balanced with just one Esther and one Wilk. So, I mean, Wilk's probably going to be a huge deal for this, I imagine.
You definitely could be.
Also, Also, Freyevia could be really cool for this because she's the Ice Queen, so to say. Who would have thought that we'd see Freyevia again?
Yeah, she is. If you're going with the ice version, she is definitely the top tier ice support in the game currently, for sure. Okay, so assuming you didn't already calculate it and math it out and cheat on me, I want you to predict how many turns your big boy whale team is going to take to clear this. Let's do an early guess, and we'll see how far off the mark you are, or how far on you are.
Okay, so I actually calculated my turn three kill
Oh
team, and
no!
I know
Oh
that
no!
it's going. I know that this one is going to work in particular. I haven't checked my regular team though, so I'd say 10 turns.
Interns? Okay. Nice, nice. Yeah, like I was saying though, this one is definitely bulkier than Death Machine. Yeah, Death Machine. It's just like an easier fight. But as far as bulk, it's technically higher. I have not actually built a team for this yet. Uh, the thing is, for me, I want to do something a little bit different because I know Esther is going to be like the most used unit by far for good reason. She is the number one MV pick for like pretty much every trial coming up. Yes, I'm gonna try to use someone different. It may not work because it's really bulky, and I kind of want to do it in the 15 turns or less. Um, and I don't even know who else would be good option. I mean, Wilk as well, but I kind of lumped Wilk in with Esther. So who even would be some good options, Livedili, other than Esther and Wilk on global?
Uh, you caught me off guard. I have no idea who would be good. I mean, it always comes also only comes down to ice and lightning. Ice
Wind.
and wind. Sorry,
Hmm.
there isn't really a good ice slash wind DPS, right?
Pretty much. And this is exactly the scenario myself and everyone else on the JP server ran into when this trial came out. So if people that were around during this trial's release, people said this trial was just as bad as Death Machine. Truthfully, the trial, as far as design goes, really isn't. The trial design is fine. The reason it was so hated along with Death Machine is because you take away Esther, you take away these global exclusive units, Wilk, that are really good in trials, you're left with who can deal ice and wind damage. Your next best option is like Arin, who can do a mediocre burst once per 3 turns. And that's like your best option. And he couldn't do it in 15 turns. I can spoiler you that right now. He couldn't do it in 15 turns before his
You
crowns.
know who could?
Who's that?
Cal. Cal with Emperor of Palamecia
Oh, the
and Rickard, right? Wasn't Rickard wind?
yeah, Ricard is win. I'm not sure if anyone did it with Ricard on JP. They may have. I may have just not seen it. But yeah, it was really hard to do this guy in 15 turns on JP when he came out, and because of that, I feel like Gloomwing got kind of like a bad reputation as like a bad trial, and I myself just as guilty. I was the exact same way. I went in there in day one. I tried a few teams. They were all so far off the mark of getting it in time. I'm like, this trial sucks. It wasn't really the trial. It's the fact that the units are just so bad on the JP server, and there were no options, like no good options to do the fight, and that was the biggest problem. So it'll be very fun to go in on global with a lot more options, a lot better units. And again, I'm gonna try to do other things, like maybe like a DPS jump build of Roberta with like Bulwark supporting can do it in 15 turns. Maybe I'll try it. We'll see some options. But
Gonna include Ferris or Mughal Narsh for the fields.
this one actually doesn't need an imperil field like Mughal Narsh. I don't think Narshi would be worth it because his wind resist is actually baseline -50. So with like bulwarks and
Oh,
peril, you're at -180. So going to -200 is only a tiny boost. Things like Mughal Narsh and all are going to be a really big deal starting 2 trials from now. That's when the base resist go to like 200 plus. At that point,
cool.
stacking those imperils become enormously important. But for this one, Ferris could absolutely be worth bringing potentially. Um, yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I didn't really plan it out. I'm gonna have to do that tonight, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun. It'll give me something to do, and you and other players something to do for this kind of dead week is rerunning these fights over and over with various team comps. Because this trial, I really do feel this trial is pretty fun and well designed. And after I went back to it on the JP server with units that had the capabilities to actually deal with the trial, I enjoyed it and I cleared it all missions no problem. It's a good trial, so this will be fun on Thursday. And just to mention the rewards, it gives you the Bug Killer Plus and the recipe for the next trial, which will be Belphegor coming later, which is a demon. And that trial is pretty good too. That's the next decent trial. But yeah, that'll be that. And then the other one for the week is 3-star S or not 3-star S
Esther.
3-star Ashura is coming to global. The
Ooh.
esper, also the trial of her. So this is very similar to Behemoth 3-star. You've got two options here. You can go in for a guaranteed auto win and you unlock the esper. No problem. To do that, you want to either bring someone that does a multi-turn jump, like, Sid, do his 15-turn jump, turn 1, you win. Or just bring someone with evasion and just guard 3 turns, you win. Don't hit the boss, including counterattack. If your unit counters, you're going to turn on the actual fight. But if you just want to unlock her, evade 3 turns, you win. End of story. And the esper is expensive. It is very expensive. So, do you have enough ore saved up to max her on day 1, Livedili? I think she needs something like 1,800 ore on top of the stuff you get for free while leveling her up. Do you have enough?
Yeah, I actually counted this yesterday because I talked on the Discord with a few people and I was like, yeah, I easily have enough to max out on day one. I said I had 1,000 ore and I was like, is that really enough though? And someone said you probably need about 2,000 and I counted up. It's 1,980 ores that you need
Oh
to max
my,
this out.
so expensive.
So I am far away. I have half of what's needed.
Nice.
So it's gonna take a couple of weeks slash months. But I guess, I mean, she has a lot of redundant stuff. Maybe I will definitely go for the killers first, as always. So I feel like I'm not missing out on too much. But yeah, the fluff stuff is always good, just like it was with Behemoth.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, they kind of learned a little bit, I guess you could say, on her Esper grid because for Behemoth, while you can very easily skip the, like you say, the fluff stuff like, summon damage that no one ever does, unfortunately, on hers, all of the fluff nodes are on the pathway to some of the killer nodes. So if you want to take every single killer, you have to take every single fluff node on top of it. It's a little unfortunate.
Yeah, I guess we're back to resetting the grid again for certain bosses. 100 lapis down the line.
So that's how to unlock her, and then how to get, the Esper and all that. There is also, for those of you that like pain, an option like 3-star Behemoth to turn on insanity mode for a gold emblem. And I'm just realizing they didn't even preview that in the news. They are
No,
not
they
showing that in the
didn't.
news. Okay. I hope they didn't take it out. Oh my god. Well, I guess we'll see. Uh,
It'd be kind of boring if they just gave it to us for free without the actual fight.
now I'm a little
Because
concerned. I was really hyped for
it,
the actual trial, but it's possible it's still there. I don't know.
I hope so, because the way it's worded, it's unlocked on the 14th of July, kind of hints at just getting it. I hope that's not the case.
Oh my god! If they actually cut content, I will be so pissed off. I've been looking forward to this actual trial for so long. Well, I'm going to assume that it's just poorly worded news, and we are actually getting the fight of it on Thursday. So, the fight of Ashura is basically the identical copy of the Ashura trial. So, phase one is a human demon. It's the AI is identical, the skills are identical. It is completely identical, with the exception of her stats. Her stats are astronomically higher, so way higher. I did a calculation, comparison her trial stats versus her esper stats. She is 36 times higher in stats as opposed to her trial version. In terms of bulk, that's with her resistances, her stats, and the passives. It's 36 times bulkier. So if you did enough damage to exactly OTK it, you'd have to do 36 times that to OTK her trial, her esper form. So that's really
That
bulky.
sounds about right.
And then her second form is identical once again. You kill the first form, she revives as human undead, and again, identical to the trial version. Same AI, same skills, same pattern, just other than enormously higher stats. The difference here is after you kill the second form, she revives again, and phase 3 starts, which is brand new. This time it's triple race. She is human, undead, and demon all at the same time. So it's our second ever triple race boss. The first one was Flammy from like 5 years ago. But yes, triple race boss. And the third phase is a completely brand new AI, unique to this fight. Very, very hard, challenging. Just like the Behemoth 3-star, the usual JP clears for the very few players that took the challenge and did it. About 100, 105, 120 turns, more or less. I'm sure these days with power creep, people have done it in way quicker. But I'm talking about at release. About 100ish turns was the usual for clearing it. I think on global with Esther, it'll be a hell of a lot quicker. So I'm predicting I can do it in about 20ish or less turns. What do you think, Liv?
Yeah, sounds about right. Now that you mentioned this, I didn't even know this had an entirely new face to it for the Esper fight. So now that you've revealed this, you kind of piqued my interest into actually doing this for myself rather than just unlocking the Esper. You know what I've been wondering too? I presume the damage is super high on Ashura on this Ashura fight, right? Just
Yes.
like it was with Behemoth.
Yeah, it's well, yes and no. It's very very high, but unlike Bahamut, where it's literally impossible to survive it, other than once per fight, 99% mitigations. You just can't survive Bahamut. This one you can. You need insane mitigations, but it is possible to tank it. Yes.
I mean, the first idea that just came up to my mind is use Fledgling Warrior. I think he has 99% mitigation for one turn.
hmm
Copy this with Olivera and have Olivera tank throughout the fight.
Unfortunately, Fledgling Warriors is self only, 99% mitigation. It's not AOE.
But can't Olivera copy it?
No, he what Oliveira does is he extends buffs on himself, and he extends those
Oh,
buffs, so it needs to be AOE. So that
feels
kind of
bad
strategy
then.
will work on, for example, the upcoming Charlotte will do an AOE 99% magic mitigation for the party for one turn, once per
Oh.
fight. That's something Oliveira could, hijack onto and extend infinitely, and then be like basically invulnerable to magic for the entirety of the fight. But unfortunately, Warrior Blights is self only. The best you can
Cheers to
do
that
on
one.
Olivera is 95% physical from Shadow Lord and 90% general from Poppy or Yoshikiri.
Oh, I see.
Those are both, only either once per fight or super long cooldowns, but you could use Olivera to extend them permanently. That being said, for this, I don't think it's viable because you would need, Shadow Lord, Poppy, Olivera, and then Rivera to actually make Olivera cover the party. So you already got like 4 party slots, and at that point, I don't think it's really worth it anymore.
It's a meme clear. Hello.
It's
It's fun too.
it is definitely a meme clear, and it would be fun to see, but maybe could be. But that's pretty much it for the week. So I seriously hope and pray they didn't cut content, especially during anniversary, especially during an already mostly dead week. Like, there's no way they could have cut the actual coolest part of this whole week. I really hope this is just poorly formatted news, but I
I
guess we'll
hope so
see.
too.
But all right, thanks again for joining me, Livedili.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, I will see you guys on Thursday. Later.
Bye.